Okay, I would like to do a review on the two newer looms that Cindwood has put out. This is the 130 peg and the 1/4 inch gauge universal loom. It's a universal hat loom, but I've actually been using it to make 2 at a time socks. Then there is the 72 peg, I believe, universal sock loom in the 1/4 inch gauge, and this only makes 1 sock at a time. So they've included their wedgings, and the wedges are great in that how you can work them. The 2 at a time socks works great. I recently did a video using this loom for 2 at a time socks for ballet socks, and see if you wanted to look at that, you can look at my ballet sock video, and it shows me using this loom for 2 at a time. And these wedges, it comes with 2 wedges, so by suggestion to them, they decided to use, there were several designers that decided to suggest using offering the 2 wedges, and so you get automatically the 2 wedges with this loom. You have to special order in the extra wedge with this. And the reason why I have 2 wedges for the 72, I believe, 72 or 74, is the fact that when you're making 1 sock, you can do a decrease method where you have a proper drawstring and you're decreasing down, and then you drawstring like your last 6 stitches or whatever. And I've actually shown a video on that as my afterthought heel, and it also incorporates the drawstring toes. So if you want to see what that's all about, go ahead and check out that video. Right now I'm on like a massive sock study because I'm going to be putting out a book in September that is all about socks, all the different types of heels, toes you can do on the looms and everything. But I wanted to go in and give you a review on these 2 looms. I think these are wonderful looms, and particularly with the wedges involved. Now granted, you can set the wedges up stationary, but you can also move them around to do decreases in the middle of the garment and without having to seam things together, and that is to me wonderful. And so to show you how easy they are to move is all you have to do is slightly loosen that, and you can move it wherever you want. You can move it just 1, tighten, loosen, moving 1, tighten, loosen, and eventually I'm going to get to this. I would like to show a video where I'm using these wedges to make fingered gloves, actual long fingers. You've seen my videos in the past. There was one I used with the Provo Crafts with the actual, their version of a wedge, their clip is what they called it, and I showed how to make full fingered gloves there without the seaming, and nobody can find those hardly anymore. They're getting to be very difficult to find because they're not being manufactured anymore. Cindwood's looms have the option to be able to go in and actually do that again, and to do it in a fine gauge loom, which means you can use some really thin yarn and it's not going to be these bulky gloves. So eventually I'll go in and be able to show you how to make the fingered gloves using these wedges, and I think that'll be fun. But that's the brilliance of these. You've got the wedges that you can go in and you can make, you know, small appendages. You can adjust it however you want. You can decrease it as you go along, which I've done that before. I actually used this one for doing my knee-high socks, and the back of the sock to have to encompass the wider calf and the smaller ankle, I have to move my decrease down, and so that works out great using that method on this. And honestly, I generally just love Cindwood looms because they're some of the most, they have some of the most versatile looms out there, and they have the biggest variety of looms I think I've seen out there in general. So I would, if you're interested in doing 2 at a time socks in the 1/4 inch gauge using a finer yarn, I would suggest this. or if you're wanting to, and you want to just spend just one amount. You don't want to buy all the round looms and everything and trying to figure that out. You want to be able to just make any size you want. And let's see, you want to do 2 at a time. This encompasses up to 64 pegs for a sock, a single sock, and to where you can do 2 at a time. You can do 64 max out pegs for 2 at a time. You can probably do baby socks 2 at a time on this one, but you can also make adult socks. So depending on what you want to do, these looms offer you the most versatility I believe you could possibly have and get more bang for your buck. So if you're looking to invest in some Cindwood Looms at this point, and you don't mind working on the long looms, and you want to get more bang for your buck, get these with the wedges. As I said, this one comes with 2, but this one doesn't. You'll have to order the extra on this one. But 130 pegs, 1/4 inch gauge, universal, I believe, hat loom. And then this one is 74 peg, 1/4 inch gauge, universal sock loom. And they do have these in the 3/8 inch gauge option as well. And I do have those, and I enjoy those for when I want to work with worsted yarns and that kind of thing, and DK weight yarns. So definitely would suggest these are working really great for me right now, working in the book that I'm working on that'll come out in September.